The chaos in Broken Temple Village was harder to handle than Obsidian Village had been. Obsidian Village had few people. Although they were weak, everyone knew they had no path of retreat. Broken Temple Village was different. There were villagers here, players, a guild squad, casual hero players, and Guan, the key NPC. Every side had different thoughts. The villagers wanted to live. The casual players wanted to complete the mission. The guild players wanted to maximize rewards. Guan wanted to protect the Fragment Scroll, and also wanted to protect the villagers. Chen Hao wanted to save people. And Lin Yao wanted to fully complete this civilization side story. To squeeze all these goals together in a short time, moral persuasion would not work. He could only rely on mission division and binding interests together. The first thing Lin Yao did was call all players to the village entrance. Anyone who does not want to defend the village can say so now. No one spoke immediately. Although Su Chong was unconvinced, he did not lead his people away either. Lin Yao continued, "Tonight's mission has 3 layers. Protecting only Guan is the lowest reward. Protecting more than half the villagers is the advanced reward. Investigating the Yellow Turban Remnants' purpose and stopping Zhang Heng from taking the scroll is the hidden reward. Which layer you want to take is your choice." This sentence was more effective than any passionate speech. Players were not villagers. For players, rewards were the most direct motivation. Several casual players who had been hesitating immediately reacted. What would the hidden reward be? Lin Yao said, "Related to the Taiping Dao Fragment Scroll." A stir passed through the crowd. Taiping Dao. Yellow turbans. Talisman water. These keywords had a powerful attraction for Huaxia players. Especially for support route players like Su Mian, the herbalist. Her eyes clearly brightened. Su Chong was no exception. He stared at Lin Yao. "How do you know?" Lin Yao said calmly, "Because Old Gu has already confirmed that Yellow Turban Libationer Zhang Heng is coming for the Fragment Scroll. If Zhang Heng takes it, this mission will most likely turn into a regional failure event. At that point, everyone will at most receive the basic reward." Su Chong stopped speaking. Lin Yao knew those words were enough. Next, he rapidly split them into groups. Front Interception Group. Zhao Tai, Chen Hao, 2 melee players from Su Chang's team, Lu Zian, and Han Xuan. Their task was to hold the withdrawn defensive line at the village entrance and prevent the Yellow Turban Remnants from surging in en masse. Flank Harassment Group. Shi Shang, Mo Yuan, and 2 agility-type players. Their task was to watch the western woods and eastern dry ditch, interrupting enemy flanking attempts and arson. Broken Temple Protection Group. Su Mian, Guan's young medicine assistant, 2 young village men, and 1 shield bearer from the Black Eagle Guild. Their task was to protect Guan, the wounded, and the Taiping Dao Fragment Scroll. Villager Logistics Group. All villagers who could not fight. They would be responsible for carrying water, moving stones, putting out fires, repairing the wooden fence, and rescuing the injured. When Su Chong heard this, he frowned. "Why does one of my people have to stay in the Broken Temple?" Lin Yao looked at him. "Because you are the one most worried about Old Gu dying." Su Chong was speechless for a moment. This arrangement was clever. The Black Eagle Guild wanted a guaranteed clear, so he had them send someone to guard the basic objective. But their main force could not all shrink into the Broken Temple, or there would be no chance to complete the advanced and hidden objectives. Su Chong was dissatisfied, but he could not find a reason to object. The second thing Lin Yao did was adjust the defensive line. Broken Temple Village's original wooden fence was too far forward, and it leaked everywhere. Lin Yao had the villagers dismantle one section of the front fence, forming an entrance that looked like a flaw. About a dozen steps behind the entrance, he used 2 broken wooden carts and firewood piles to form a narrow lane. At its narrowest point, only 3 or 4 people could pass side by side. That way, even if the Yellow Turban Remnants had more people, they could not all press forward at once. The eastern dry ditch was piled with broken stones. Archers and stone-throwing players could hide behind the ditch and attack the side of enemies entering the lane. The western woods were arranged with bitter smoke grass and dry branches. If enemies circled behind, they would light smoke to interfere with visibility. After Zhao Tai saw it, he could not help muttering, "Looks a lot like the kill opening back in Obsidian Village." Lin Yao said, "The defensive logic is similar. When fewer people fight more people, you cannot allow the enemy's numerical advantage to spread out." Chen Hao listened and could not help sighing. "I really never noticed before that you were this suited to being a lord." Lin Yao did not answer. In truth, he had not been born knowing how to do this. He was simply very clear that he could not beat monsters head-on, so he could only force himself to think about how to make the environment, positions, and manpower all play their roles. Heroes survived through skills. Lords survived through judgment. Before dusk, all the defensive lines were barely completed. Although the villagers were still afraid, they were far more orderly than at the beginning. Guan was not idle either. He took out all the herbs and talisman papers and began preparing talisman water. Su Mian stood nearby, watching with extreme focus. When Lin Yao walked over, he happened to see Guan burn a yellow talisman into ash and mix it into medicinal soup. Ordinary players would only think it mysterious. But civilization analysis provided specific information. Low-level wound cleansing talisman water. Effect: stops bleeding, eases pain, slightly suppresses evil aura. Risk: none. Origin: Taiping Dao Medical Branch. This was orthodox medical talisman water. It was different from the faith pollution left on the corpses of the Yellow Turban Remnants on the road. Lin Yao asked Guan, "The talisman water Zhang Heng uses is different from this?" Guan's movement paused. He mixed wish power into it. Wish power? The gathering of human hearts. It can save people, and it can also confuse them. Guan said quietly, "When Taiping Dao first distributed talisman water, it was to calm the people, treat illness, and gather the masses for self-protection. But in chaotic times, people's hearts suffer too much. When suffering reaches its limit, it easily turns into resentment. If resentment is mixed into talisman water, the talisman water is no longer merely medicine." Lin Yao understood. This was the risk of the faith system. Public sentiment could become the cohesion of a territory. But if it went astray, it would become fanaticism and pollution. If Obsidian Village developed the public sentiment and faith system in the future, it had to avoid this path. Guan handed a bowl of talisman water to Lin Yao. "Take it." Lin Yao received it. Low-level wound cleansing talisman water. Can be brought back to territory for research. If analyzed by someone with spirit planter potential, it can unlock a low-level herbal medical system. Lin Yao's heart moved slightly. Qingyan needed this. He put the talisman water away. "Thank you." Guan looked at him and suddenly asked, "You have your own territory?" "Yes." "Are there sick people in your territory?" "There are wounded. There is also a child who understands herbs." Guan was silent for a moment, then took out a small bundle of herbs. "If we survive tonight, bring her to see me." Lin Yao's eyes shifted. This was an NPC inheritance route. "I will." Just then, from outside the village, low footsteps sounded in the distance. Not one person. A crowd. The player on sentry duty at the village entrance immediately shouted, "They're here." Lin Yao walked up onto the temporary wooden platform and looked out. Under the dusklight, A group of figures with yellow cloth wrapped around their heads was approaching along the wasteland road. Their clothes were tattered, and they carried wooden spears, wood-cutting blades, and short swords. In the middle of the group, several people carried a worn yellow banner. Beneath the banner stood a tall, thin man. He wore a gray-yellow Daoist robe, held a wooden staff, and had several gourds hanging at his waist. Guan walked to Lin Yao's side. When he saw that man, his face darkened. Zhang Heng. Lin Yao looked toward him. Civilization analysis appeared. Yellow Turban libationer, Zhang Heng. Identity, inheritor of a Taiping Dao side branch. State, moderate faith pollution. Abilities, talisman water enhancement, public resentment incitement, low-level curse talismans. Objective, seize the Taiping Dao Fragment Scroll and complete fanatical talisman water. Danger level, high. Zhang Heng stopped 100 steps outside the village. He did not attack immediately. Instead, he raised his head and looked toward the broken temple. His voice was hoarse, but it carried far. Senior brother. Hand over the fragment scroll. I can choose not to slaughter the village. Guan tightened his grip on his medicine staff. You are no longer trying to save people. Zhang Heng laughed. His laughter was dry and grating. Save people? In this world, medicine alone cannot save people. The common people are ignorant, cowardly, and afraid to die. What they need is not merely medicine. They need a faith that can make them kneel, obey, and die when ordered. Guan said angrily, that is not saving people. That is controlling people. The smile on Zhang Heng's face slowly disappeared. What is wrong with controlling people? If you do not control them, they will flee. If you do not control them, they will betray you. If you do not control them, they will be cut down like grass in this chaotic age. He raised his wooden staff. Behind him, the Yellow Turban Remnants began chanting in low voices. The blue heaven is dead. The yellow heaven shall rise. At first, the voices were chaotic. Soon, they became orderly. An uncomfortable fanatical aura began to spread. Many villagers inside the village turned pale. Several wounded even became dazed, as if pulled by the sound. Guan immediately sprinkled wound-cleansing talisman water at the entrance of the broken temple. Do not listen. Lin Yao's gaze sank. This was not simply shouting slogans before a battle. This was mental interference. He immediately ordered, beat the buckets. Chen Hao froze. What? Lin Yao pointed at the iron pots, wooden buckets, and broken basins nearby. Make noise. Break their rhythm. Chen Hao reacted immediately. He grabbed a wooden stick and struck a broken basin with all his strength. Zhao Tai also kicked over an empty wooden bucket and hammered it with the back of his blade. The villagers were stunned at first, but soon followed. Clang. Thump. Bang. Messy noise exploded throughout the village. The chanting of the Yellow Turban Remnants was forcibly interrupted. That fanatical aura was also scattered quite a bit. Su Chong glanced at Lin Yao. For the first time, genuine attention appeared in his eyes. Zhang Heng also looked toward Lin Yao. Outsider. His eyes were cold and gloomy. You are not a hero. You carry the scent of a lord. Lin Yao stood behind the defensive line and looked at him calmly. If you want the fragment scroll, come take it yourself. Zhang Heng smiled. Good. He pointed his wooden staff forward. Kill your way in. The living enter the Tao. The dead become talismans. The Yellow Turban Remnants began charging. The defensive battle of Broken Temple Village officially began. When the Yellow Turban Remnants charged forward, Lin Yao did not immediately order an attack. He stood on the wooden platform and stared hard at their formation. More than 50 people. Among them, about 30 were truly charging with weapons. In the rear were more than a dozen thin-looking believers. In the middle were Zhang Heng and several altar attendants holding yellow talismans. This was not a simple bandit group. This was a small fanatical army with crude organizational ability. If they clashed head-on, Broken Temple Village definitely could not hold. The Yellow Turban Remnants drew closer and closer. Su Chong could not help saying, "Still not attacking?" Lin Yao did not look at him. Wait. The first wave of Yellow Turban Remnants rushed through the village entrance fence. The opening Lin Yao had deliberately left looked like a collapsed section of the defensive line. As expected, the Yellow Turban Remnants did not doubt it and poured straight in. 10 steps. 8 steps. 5 steps. When the front 7 or 8 people had entered the narrow lane, Lin Yao finally raised his hand. Push the carts. Villagers on both sides pushed the broken wooden carts with all their strength. The carts pressed in from left and right, jamming the momentum of the Yellow Turban Remnants behind them. At the same time, Mo Yuan and several players in the dry ditch began firing arrows and throwing stones. The front section of the Yellow Turban Remnants was instantly cut off from the rest. Lin Yao ordered, "Front line, press." Zhao Tai was the first to charge up. He gripped the blade Gao Mu had lent him and chopped directly at the Yellow Turban soldier in front. That Yellow Turban soldier raised a wooden shield to block. Zhao Tai split the shield with one slash and slammed into him with the momentum. Chen Hao followed beside him. Although his blade technique was not exquisite, it was far more practiced than Lin Yao's. He followed the Three Kingdoms border infantry route and had already learned basic chopping. The 2 melee players from Su Chang's team quickly joined in as well. For a time, fierce melee erupted inside the narrow lane. The Yellow Turban Remnants had more people, but they could not spread out. The players had stronger individual combat power. With the terrain advantage, they actually suppressed the enemy for a short time. After Su Chong saw the effect, his expression changed slightly. He had originally thought Lin Yao only knew how to talk. He had not expected this defensive formation to truly dismantle the Yellow Turban Remnants' numerical advantage. But Zhang Heng reacted quickly. He waved his wooden staff. Talisman water. The altar attendants in the rear immediately distributed several gourds to the Yellow Turban soldiers in front. After several Yellow Turban soldiers drank the talisman water, their skin rapidly turned red, their eyes became fanatical, and their strength and speed clearly rose. One of them took Zhao Tai's slash head-on and thrust a spear back toward Chen Hao. Chen Hao could not dodge in time. His shoulder was pierced, and he grunted in pain. Lin Yao immediately looked toward Su Mian. Wound-cleansing talisman water. Su Mian reacted quickly and splashed the talisman water Guan had prepared onto Chen Hao's wound. A little black-yellow aura rose from the injury. Chen Hao's face improved quite a bit. Lin Yao's eyes turned cold. Zhang Heng's talisman water was not only enhancement. It also carried pollution. If someone wounded by it was not treated quickly, they might be affected by faith pollution. He looked toward Zhang Heng's position. Zhang Heng stood far back, protected by altar attendants and Yellow Turban soldiers. A direct decapitation strike would be very difficult. So they had to first break his talisman water rhythm. Lin Yao turned to ask Guan, "How long does talisman water enhancement last?" Guan answered, "If it is ordinary talisman water, about half a quarter of an hour." And his fanatical talisman water? Shorter, but it overdraws the body. Lin Yao immediately ordered, "Front line, do not fight enhanced soldiers head-on. Delay." When Zhao Tai heard this, he cursed at once. His strength just got bigger, and you want me to delay? Lin Yao shouted, "He cannot last long." Zhao Tai clenched his teeth and began changing his style. He no longer chopped head-on. Instead, he used the wooden carts on both sides of the lane to maneuver. Chen Hao and Lu Zian also retreated half a step, preventing the enhanced Yellow Turban soldiers from breaking through while denying them any key position to strike. As expected, before long, the breathing of those Yellow Turban soldiers who had drunk the talisman water became rapid, and their movements began to deform. Zhao Tai seized the chance and cut one down. Chen Hao followed up with the finishing blow. The first wave of enhanced soldiers fell. The morale of the players in the village rose. But Lin Yao knew Zhang Heng had not truly acted yet. Just as the front line began to stabilize slightly, Shang ran back from the western woods. "Lord! People are circling behind from the west." "How many?" 7 or 8. "They have fire oil." Lin Yao's gaze sank. As expected. The frontal assault from the Yellow Turban Remnants was only a distraction. Their true purpose might be setting fire to the village and forcing Guan to hand over the Fragment Scroll. "Mo Yuan, take 2 people to the west." Lin Yao then looked at Shang. "You lead the way. Do not fight head-on. Hit the fire oil." Shang nodded and immediately turned to run. Mo Yuan took 2 agility players and followed. Su Chong frowned. "We were already short-handed at the front. If you transfer people away, the pressure here will grow." Lin Yao said, "If we do not handle the fire oil, once the broken temple burns, all defense becomes meaningless." Su Chong stopped speaking. Because Lin Yao was right. Soon, shouts of killing came from the western woods. After a while, firelight appeared, but it did not spread into the village. Shang's group had successfully knocked over the enemy's fire oil. Instead, it burned and disrupted the flanking squad. When Zhang Heng saw this, his face finally became ugly. He seemed not to have expected Broken Temple Village's side to react so quickly. In his original prediction, these outsiders should have fought separately. Press the front, burn the side, and use chanting to disturb the villagers' minds. The village would collapse quickly. But Lin Yao had divided everyone into several functional groups. None of the groups was particularly strong, but each happened to correspond to one of his methods. Zhang Heng looked coldly at Lin Yao. "Lord! Troublesome indeed." He suddenly took a black gourd from his waist. When Guan saw that gourd, his expression changed dramatically. "Stop him." Lin Yao did not ask why. He shouted directly, "Archers, hit the gourd." Mo Yuan was away, so only one player archer remained. He hurriedly drew his bow and shot, but the arrow was blocked by a Yellow Turban soldier beside Zhang Heng with a shield. Zhang Heng pulled out the gourd stopper. A black-yellow mist surged out from inside. He poured the mist into a bowl of talisman water, then stirred it with his wooden staff. He chanted under his breath. The chanting of the Yellow Turban Remnants rose again. "The blue heaven is dead. The yellow heaven shall rise." This time, the voices were more piercing than before. Several wounded people inside the village suddenly clutched their heads and screamed. One villager's eyes even became dazed, and he began walking toward the broken temple. Guan immediately shouted, "That is resentment talisman water. It draws out fear and resentment." Lin Yao instantly judged the situation. Zhang Heng did not intend merely to break through the defensive line. He wanted the village to collapse by itself. Fear. Resentment. The desire to survive. Once these emotions were amplified, the villagers might flee for their lives, or even fight to seize the Fragment Scroll. Lin Yao looked toward the broken temple. That was where people's hearts were most fragile. He immediately ordered, "Chen Hao, hold the front." Chen Hao froze. Where are you going? The broken temple. After speaking, Lin Yao turned and rushed toward the broken temple. Su Cheng said anxiously, "You are the commander. If you leave, what happens to the front?" Lin Yao did not look back. Zhang Heng is attacking the village now, not the village entrance. When he rushed into the broken temple, it was already in chaos. Several wounded rolled in pain. Some villagers cried and shouted that they wanted to flee. Guan was using wound-cleansing talisman water to stabilize everyone, but the effect was limited. That black-yellow mist seemed able to drill into people's hearts and dig up whatever each person feared most. Lin Yao himself was affected as well. For an instant, he saw rejection letters in reality, his rented apartment, failed interviews, his parents' silent eyes, and a future in which he accomplished nothing. That feeling whispered beside his ear. You cannot save everyone. You are only an ordinary person. What right do you have to be a lord? Lin Yao's footsteps paused slightly. But in the next second, the memory of the Lord Stone Tablets' war soul protection seemed to light up inside his consciousness. Obsidian Village. Gao Mu. Qingye. Shi Shang. Zhao Tai. Those people who had not retreated on the first night in the Blackstone Wasteland were like a nail, pinning his consciousness back into reality. He took a deep breath and walked to the center of the broken temple. Then he abruptly flipped over the old incense burner on the offering table. Bang! The huge sound made the chaotic crowd pause briefly. Lin Yao stood before everyone, his voice low. If you want to live, look at me. The villagers trembled and looked toward him. Lin Yao pointed outside. The people outside are defending you. The people at the village entrance are bleeding. The people on the flanks are stopping fire. Old Gu is saving you. Now Zhang Heng wants you to destroy yourselves. If you lose control, all the blood spilled by the people outside will be wasted. One villager cried out, but we will die. Lin Yao looked at him. You might. Everyone froze. Lin Yao did not comfort them. If you stay, you may die. If you run, you may also die. But if you stay, there are still people beside you. If you run, you will only be caught by the yellow turbans one by one. He turned toward Guan. Old Gu, if there is not enough talisman water, have them shout for themselves. Guan froze. Shout what? Lin Yao looked at the villagers. Shout your own names. Shout that you want to live. Shout that Broken Temple Village has not fallen. This was not magic. But it could interrupt the rhythm of Zhang Heng's chanting. Human hearts could be pulled by sound. Then use another sound to press them back. Lin Yao was the first to shout. Broken Temple Village has not fallen. Chen Hao heard it from the village entrance and immediately roared along. Broken Temple Village has not fallen. Zhao Tai also shouted, has not fallen. Soon, players, villagers, and the wounded began shouting in scattered voices. Has not fallen. Broken Temple Village has not fallen. At first, the voices were chaotic. But they grew louder and louder. They were not as orderly as the Yellow Turban chant. But they were more real. Because this was not fanaticism. It was the will to survive. The black-yellow mist in the broken temple began to thin. Gulen ceased the chants and sprinkled wound-cleansing talisman water over the crowd. For the first time, Zhang Heng's resentment talisman water was pressed back. At the village entrance, the morale of the front line rose instead. Chen Hao cut down a yellow turban soldier and roared, hear that? You cannot get in. Zhao Tai laughed loudly. Come on. Your Grandpa Zhao is guarding the gate tonight. Su Chong watched the scene, his gaze complicated. He finally understood why Lin Yao was a lord. This guy's combat power might be inferior to many heroes, but he could pull a group of people who were about to collapse back onto their feet. In large-scale missions, that ability was more useful than a fine sword. Zhang Heng stood outside the village, his face completely dark. Good. Very good. He raised his wooden staff and pointed toward the broken temple. Since you refuse to kneel, then all of you die. Behind the Yellow Turban Remnants, 3 altar attendants cut open their palms at the same time and dripped blood into talisman bowls. Guan's face turned deathly pale. He is forcefully opening a blood talisman. Lin Yao looked toward Zhang Heng. The mission panel flashed wildly. Warning: Yellow Turban Libationer Zhang Heng is casting blood talisman water. If casting succeeds, the Yellow Turban Remnants will enter a berserk state. Please interrupt the casting within 3 minutes. Lin Yao's gaze sank. Defense was no longer enough. They had to counterattack. 3 minutes. That was the interruption time given by the system. But Zhang Heng stood behind the Yellow Turban Remnants, with at least 20 enemies between him and the village. Charging directly from the front was almost impossible. Su Chong also saw the mission prompt, and his face looked extremely ugly. Interrupt? How? Lin Yao did not answer immediately. His gaze swept rapidly across the battlefield. The front narrow lane was still in melee. The Yellow Turban Remnants were jammed at the village entrance and could not all press in. The flanking squad on the west side was being held by Shishang and Mo Yuan. The eastern dry ditch was temporarily safe. Zhang Heng's position was toward the left rear of the front. 3 altar attendants beside him were casting. If someone could circle through the western woods, there was a chance to attack the altar attendants. But the problem was that there were still enemies on the west side. And the people circling around had to be fast, precise, and unable to get dragged into a prolonged fight. Lin Yao immediately looked at Chen Hao. You, Shishang, and Mo Yuan circle out from the west. Chen Hao froze. Me? You are a hero. You are faster than Zhao Tai. Chen Hao clenched his teeth. Target? The altar attendants. Lin Yao pointed beside Zhang Heng. You do not need to kill Zhang Heng. Interrupt the 3 altar attendants first. Chen Hao glanced at the chaotic battlefield. What if I cannot get through? Then the blood talisman water succeeds, and everyone is finished. Chen Hao was silent for an instant, then cursed. Your motivational style is terrible. Lin Yao said, but effective. Chen Hao tightened his grip on his blade. Fine. Lin Yao then looked at Su Chong. Send 1 agility player with them. Su Chong frowned. My people? If you want the hidden reward, you cannot only stand at the front and secure the guaranteed objective. Su Chong took a deep breath and turned his head to shout. Eluo, go. A short-blade player from the Black Eagle Guild immediately stepped out. Yes. Finally, Lin Yao looked at Shishang. Shishang had just returned from the west. His face was smeared with ash, and there was a cut on his arm. But his eyes were bright. You lead the way. Shishang nodded. I know where we can circle around. Lin Yao stared at him. Remember. You are not going to risk your life. You are going to bring them to the correct position. Shishang said seriously, understood. The 4 of them quickly disappeared along the edge of the western woods. Lin Yao returned to the front. He could not go personally. Because if the front defensive line lost coordination, the Yellow Turban Remnants might immediately break through the narrow lane. Zhang Heng's blood talisman water was still underway. The chanting of the Yellow Turban Remnants grew heavier and heavier. The enemies at the village entrance also became more frantic. Zhao Tai cut down one person, and blood once again seeped from the wound on his chest.
How much longer? Lin Yao glanced at the mission countdown. 2:21. A little over 2 minutes.
Zhao Tai's face darkened. They had better hurry. The Yellow Turban soldiers pressed forward again. This time, they no longer feared death. Even when those in the front were stabbed, they grabbed the players' weapons to create chances for the people behind them. Lu Ziyan was caught around the leg by a Yellow Turban soldier and was nearly dragged out of the line. Han Xuan cut off that soldier's arm with one sword and saved him.
Su Chong no longer held back either.
A faint white light appeared on his iron sword. He had clearly activated a skill. With one slash, he forced back 3 Yellow Turban soldiers.
Lin Yao noticed that Su Chong was actually very strong. At least among current players, Su Chang's individual combat power was definitely near the front.
He had simply been using that strength conservatively.
That was normal.
Guild players pursued returns, not sentiment. But now, he had also been forced into a real fight. Lin Yao ordered, "Front line, retreat 3 more steps." Su Chong immediately said, "Any farther and we are near the broken temple."
"Retreat 3 steps. Let them enter the second section of the lane." Su Chong glanced behind him and immediately understood. Lin Yao had prepared a second obstruction long ago. The first narrow lane was almost smashed apart.
If they held it to the death, the players would be crushed. By retreating 3 steps, they gave up the wooden carts that were about to collapse, then used the second section of firewood piles and stone barriers to jam the enemy again.
This was not a rout.
It was changing defensive lines.
Su Chong immediately shouted, "Retreat!"
The front players fought while falling back. The Yellow Turban Remnants thought the line had loosened and surged in frantically. But just as they chased in, they were blocked by the second obstacle. Mo Yuan was away, so the stone-throwing fire from the eastern dry ditch had weakened. Lin Yao immediately had the villagers fill in.
"Stones! Do not stop!"
Several villagers trembled as they smashed stones toward the Yellow Turban soldiers.
Their accuracy was poor.
But the distance was close. One stone struck a Yellow Turban soldier in the forehead, and the man screamed and fell. The villager who had thrown the stone froze in disbelief. Lin Yao immediately shouted, "Continue!" As if awakened, the villager grabbed a second stone. The villagers of Broken Temple Village finally stopped merely hiding in the back and waiting to be saved. They began participating in the defense. Even if it was only throwing stones, moving water, and repairing barriers. This was extremely important to the advanced objective. Because if a village did not resist at all and relied entirely on players, it would be very difficult to hold until the end. On the other side, in the western woods, Shang led Chen Hao and the others through a patch of low shrubs. He did not move in a straight line. Instead, he followed a nearly invisible animal trail. Eluo could not help whispering, "How do you know this path works?" Shang did not turn back.
"Footprints."
"What footprints?" The Yellow Turban Remnants circled behind earlier.
"The grass here was pressed down." Eluo's eyes shifted. This NPC boy was not simple.
Chen Hao did not have that much thought to spare.
He only looked at the mission countdown and grew terribly anxious. 1:32. 1.5 minutes left. Shang sped up.
Soon, they circled from the side of the woods to a position left of the Yellow Turban Remnants' rear.
Zhang Heng and the 3 altar attendants were ahead. But 6 Yellow Turban guards still stood between them. Mo Yuan drew his bow. "Shoot the altar attendants first?" Chen Hao shook his head. "The distance is a little far. It will be easy to block."
Shang looked at the ground, then suddenly pointed toward a fire oil jar nearby. It had been prepared by the Yellow Turban Remnants for attacking the village and was temporarily piled in the rear.
Hit that! Chen Hao's eyes lit up. Smart!
Mo Yuan immediately adjusted his target and fired an arrow toward the fire oil jar.
The first arrow missed. A Luo cursed under his breath. Aim properly. Mo Yuan clenched his teeth and fired the second arrow.
The arrowhead struck the fire oil jar, and oil flowed out. Shi Shang immediately lit bitter smoke grass and threw it over.
Flames roared upward. The Yellow Turban guards in the rear fell into chaos.
Zhang Heng's casting rhythm paused slightly. But it had not broken.
The three altar attendants were still chanting.
Chen Hao knew they could not wait any longer.
Go!
He was the first to rush out. Luo and Shi Shang followed from the side. Mo Yuan fired from behind to suppress the guards. The Yellow Turban guards immediately discovered them. Two guards came forward. Luo was the fastest. His short blade swept across one man's wrist and made the weapon fall from his hand. Chen Hao took a wooden staff strike head-on, rushed to the first altar attendant, and knocked over the talisman bowl with one slash.
Talisman water spilled across the ground. The first altar attendant's casting was interrupted. The mission countdown shifted. Blood talisman water integrity decreased. But the remaining two were still continuing. Shi Shang did not charge directly at the altar attendants.
He circled to the side and stared at the talisman bulls and gourds. Lin Yao had said that he was not the main fighter. His task was to bring people to the correct position. Now, he saw the second key point. Beside the three altar attendants was a shared blood talisman jar. All the talisman water drew from there. Shi Shang did not hesitate. He grabbed a stone and smashed it hard at the blood talisman jar.
Bang!
The jar did not break. The Yellow Turban guards immediately lunged toward him.
Shi Shang turned and ran.
He was fast, and his body was small. He forced his way through the gap between two guards.
Mo Yuan seized the opportunity and shot an arrow into the crack in the blood talisman jar.
Shi Shang followed with another stone.
Crack!
The blood talisman jar shattered. Black-red liquid flowed across the ground. All three altar attendants screamed at the same time.
Zhang Heng's expression changed dramatically. Damn it!
A mission prompt appeared before all players. Blood talisman water casting has been interrupted.
Yellow Turban Remnant berserk state failed.
At the front line, everyone's spirits rose. Zhao Tai laughed loudly.
They did it!
Lin Yao did not relax. Because Zhang Heng was still alive. And after his casting was interrupted, his target might change from seizing the scroll to killing people. As expected, Zhang Heng suddenly turned and looked toward Chen Hao's group. He drew a dark yellow talisman from his sleeve. When Guan saw that talisman from the broken temple entrance, his expression changed dramatically.
Retreat!
Lin Yao immediately shouted through the friend channel, "Chen Hao, withdraw." When Chen Hao heard him, he turned without hesitation.
But Luo was one step slow. Zhang Heng's talisman ignited. A black-yellow line of fire shot out and struck Luo squarely in the back.
Luo screamed and was thrown through the air, his health instantly dropping by more than half. Chen Hao wanted to save him, but Mo Yuan pulled him back.
Go!
Shi Shang threw a handful of bitter smoke grass from the side. Smoke burst open, barely covering Zhang Heng's vision. The group dragged the badly injured Luo and retreated. Zhang Heng did not pursue. He stood behind the firelight and stared hard at Broken Temple Village. Then he suddenly smiled.
Senior brother. You think interrupting the blood talisman means you have one?
The fragment scroll is in your hands, but human hearts are on my side.
An ominous feeling suddenly rose in Lin Yao's heart.
In the next second, an injured villager inside the village abruptly stood.
His eyes glowed with muddy yellow light.
He held a short blade and stabbed fiercely toward Guan.
The yellow heaven shall rise.
Screams exploded inside the broken temple.
Lin Yao's face sank. An inside traitor. Zhang Heng had already planted fanatical seeds inside Broken Temple Village.
When that injured villager suddenly erupted, he was less than 3 steps from Guan. No one had expected the true blade to come from inside the village.
Su Mian stood nearby. Her first reaction was to reach out and pull Guan away.
But she was not a combat class after all, and her movement was a moment too slow. The short blade stabbed toward Guan's chest. At that moment, a small round shield slammed in from the side.
Bang! The shield bearer left behind by the Black Eagle Guild forcibly blocked the strike.
Although Su Chong was utilitarian, the person he had arranged in the broken temple had indeed not failed in his duty. The short blade stabbed into the shield surface, producing an ear-piercing scrape. The villager's eyes were yellow, and his face was twisted with fanaticism.
Hand over the fragment scroll. The yellow heaven protects the people. Those who do not believe must die. The broken temple instantly fell into chaos.
Several wounded people crawled backward in terror. Guan's face looked ugly, as if he had known this day would come.
When Lin Yao rushed into the broken temple, the shield bearer was already wrestling with the villager.
The other party was clearly only a wounded man, yet his strength was abnormally great.
Faith pollution had strengthened his body.
But it was also overdrawing his life.
Civilization analysis appeared. Fanatical infected.
Identity, Broken Temple Village villager.
State, latent resentment talisman water pollution outbreak. Traits, reduced pain, brief strength increase, chaotic reason.
Weaknesses, wound cleansing talisman water, strong mental stimulus, knockout. Warning, killing him will lower village public sentiment and may trigger chain panic. They could not kill him. Lin Yao judged this immediately. If they killed this villager in public, they could resolve the danger, but the other villagers inside the broken temple would panic even more. Worse, that was exactly what Zhang Heng wanted. Make the villagers suspect each other.
Make the players think the NPCs were uncontrollable. Make the defense collapse from the inside.
Lin Yao shouted, "Do not kill him."
The shield bearer's face looked terrible.
Then you come hold him down.
Zhao Tai also rushed in and grabbed the fanatical villager from behind.
Then I'll hold him. The fanatical villager struggled wildly, his strength shocking. The wound on Zhao Tai's chest was pulled, and his face twisted in pain.
What did this guy eat to grow up like this? Guan immediately lifted wound-cleansing talisman water and splashed it onto the villager's face.
Hiss.
Black-yellow aura rose from the man's skin.
The villager screamed, and his struggle weakened slightly. Lin Yao walked forward and stared into his eyes. In those eyes, beneath the fanaticism, there was fear.
Deep fear. What is your name?
The villager roared. The yellow heaven shall rise. Lin Yao raised his hand and slapped him.
Smack. Everyone in the broken temple froze. Zhao Tai froze too.
Lord, what are you? Lin Yao ignored him and continued staring at the villager.
What is your name?
The villager's eyes were chaotic.
Yellow. Yellow heaven. Smack. Another slap. What is your name?
The villager's lips trembled, and yellow light flickered in his eyes.
I.
Guan immediately shouted, his name is Lu Ping. Lin Yao grabbed the villager's collar and said in a deep voice, "Lu Ping, look at me. You are a person of Broken Temple Village. The one outside who wants to kill your wife and children is Zhang Heng. Not Guan. Not the people defending this village."
Lu Ping trembled violently. If I do not believe in the yellow heaven, I will die."
Lin Yao said coldly, "If you believe now, you will die all the same.
Zhang Heng asked you to stab Guan, not to save you. He asked you to die for him."
The yellow light in Lu Ping's eyes brightened and dimmed.
Guan seized the chance and poured talisman water into his mouth.
Lu Ping let out a pained growl.
Finally, his entire body went limp. The yellow light scattered.
A system prompt appeared. "You have successfully suppressed a fanatical infected. Broken Temple Village public sentiment has not collapsed. Hidden objective progress increased." Lin Yao released his hand. Zhao Tai lowered Lu Ping onto the ground and gasped. "Those 2 slaps of yours were pretty loud." Lin Yao said quietly, "Mental stimulus."
Zhao Tai's mouth twitched.
"You call that mental stimulus?" Lin Yao did not explain further.
He looked at Guan. "How many people in the village drank Zhang Heng's talisman water?" Guan's expression was heavy. "I do not know."
That was the most troublesome answer.
He did not know.
Before attacking the village, Zhang Heng had already planted seeds.
There might be one. There might be more than one.
Lin Yao immediately ordered, "All wounded gather on the left side of the broken temple.
Those who are not wounded go to the right. Old Gu, you and Su Mian inspect them one by one.
Anyone with cloudy eyes, yellowing skin, or abnormal emotions must be separated alone."
Guan nodded.
"Good." Lin Yao looked at the shield bearer again.
"You guard old Gu." The shield bearer did not question him anymore.
If Lin Yao had ordered that man killed just now, things would have been simpler. But they would also have become worse. That made the shield bearer respect him somewhat.
The broken temple began rapidly screening people.
Lin Yao returned to the village entrance. The front line was still under heavy pressure. After the blood talisman water was interrupted, the Yellow Turban Remnants did not go berserk, but their assault did not stop. Zhang Heng seemed to have abandoned the quick seizure of the scroll and shifted to a war of attrition. He knew Broken Temple Village had few people. The longer this dragged on, the lower the player's stamina and the villagers' will would fall.
When Su Chong saw Lin Yao return, he immediately asked, "How is it inside?"
"Suppressed."
"More traitors?"
"Possibly." Su Chang's face looked ugly.
"This mission is really vicious."
Lin Yao looked at Zhang Heng outside the village. "He is not attacking the defensive line. He is attacking human hearts." Su Chong fell silent. If ordinary monsters attacked a village, players like them only needed enough damage output. But Zhang Heng was different. He used talisman water, chanting, fear, and internal agents to constantly make the village collapse by itself. This had already exceeded an ordinary hero player's understanding of a newbie mission.
Lin Yao asked, "Do you still have skills?"
Su Chong frowned. "Yes, but the cooldown is long."
"Can you charge within 10 steps of Zhang Heng?"
Su Chang's eyes moved. "You want a decapitation strike? Dragging this out is bad for us." "But Zhang Heng still has guards."
"That is why not now."
Lin Yao looked across the battlefield. "First force out his remaining altar attendants."
Su Chong asked, "How?"
Lin Yao pointed at the front narrow lane.
"Let a section of the Yellow Turban Remnants in. Pretend the line is about to collapse."
Su Chong immediately objected.
"Too dangerous. If we do not, Zhang Han will not apply more pressure." Lin Yao said, right now, he thinks he can win by attrition. We need to make him think he is just one step away from breaking through. Then he will commit more altar attendance, or move closer himself. Su Chang's expression shifted again and again. This plan was risky. But he knew Lin Yao's judgment was correct. Zhang Heng was too cautious. If they did not lure out an opening, the players could only defend passively. Su Cheng clenched his teeth and asked, "Who holds that wave?" Lin Yao looked toward Zhao Tai and Chen Hao. The moment Zhao Tai saw his expression, he knew nothing good was coming. "You want me to get hit again?" Lin Yao said, "You are responsible for looking like you are about to fail." Zhao Tai laughed in anger. "I really am about to fail right now. Do I still need to act?" Chen Hao panted. "I'll cooperate." Lin Yao nodded. "When I give the order, the front line deliberately falls back and gives up the third entrance. But the final line before the broken temple cannot be lost." Su Chong took a deep breath. "Fine. Black Eagle people, prepare to assault." Lin Yao looked outside the village. Zhang Heng still stood beneath the yellow banner, watching Broken Temple Village coldly. He seemed to be waiting. Waiting for the village to collapse on its own. Waiting for the players' stamina to be exhausted. Waiting for the next fanatical seed to erupt. Lin Yao would not give him that time. He raised his hand. "Front line, retreat." The order fell, and the front players began to pull back. This retreat was even more obvious than the last one. The wooden carts were knocked aside. One section of the defensive line looked completely scattered. The Yellow Turban Remnants immediately erupted in shouts. "It's broken! Kill your way in! Seize the Fragment Scroll!" While retreating, Zhao Tai deliberately stumbled and cursed. "No good! Can't hold it!" His acting was extremely exaggerated. But the battlefield was chaotic, and the Yellow Turban Remnants could not tell whether it was true. Chen Hao was also forced back by two Yellow Turban soldiers, looking utterly battered. The veins on Su Chang's forehead jumped. "Their acting is terrible." Lin Yao said calmly, "As long as the enemy believes it." Sure enough, when Zhang Heng saw the defensive line loosen, he finally raised his hand. The final two altar attendants beside him moved forward with several guards. They intended to use talisman water to strengthen the front line and break through the final defense before the broken temple in one push. Lin Yao's gaze sharpened. "Wait." The two altar attendants came closer and closer. 30 steps. 20 steps. 15 steps. Su Chong gripped his iron sword tightly. "Still not moving? Wait a little longer." 10 steps. The altar attendants began raising their talisman bowls. Lin Yao abruptly lowered his hand. "Move!" Su Chong shot out instantly. His speed was twice as fast as before, and white light shone on his iron sword. This was the charge skill he had kept in reserve until now. Two Black Eagle Guild players followed immediately. From the dry ditch, Mo Yuan also fired the arrow he had prepared. The arrow directly pierced one altar attendant's wrist. The talisman bowl fell. Su Chong reached the other altar attendant and cut down with one sword. The altar attendant screamed and fell. The final talisman water enhancement was interrupted. Zhang Heng's face changed completely. He finally realized he had been tricked. At that moment, Zhao Tai and Chen Hao both stopped retreating. The front defensive line, which had seemed on the verge of collapse, closed again. The front row of Yellow Turban Remnants was jammed at the third entrance. The rear altar attendants had been cut down, and the formation instantly fell into chaos. Lin Yao ordered, "Push back." Zhao Tai roared and swung his blade forward. Chen Hao, Lu Ziyan, and Han Chuan followed.
For the first time, the players actively pressed the Yellow Turban remnants back toward the village exterior. The villagers also threw stones with them.
The morale of the Yellow Turban remnants began to waver. They were remnants, after all.
They were not true elites. They had relied on Zhang Heng's talisman water, chanting, and fear control. Now their altar attendants had been broken one after another, talisman water could not be supplied, and the front line was being pushed back. Their fanaticism began to fade. Fear appeared in the eyes of some believers. Lin Yao looked toward Zhang Heng. This was the best chance. Su Chong had just cut down an altar attendant and turned to look at him. Lin Yao pointed at Zhang Heng. Decapitation. Su Chang's gaze turned cold. He immediately understood. But Zhang Heng had already begun to retreat. He was no reckless fool. He wanted to escape. At that moment, Shi Shang rushed out from the side. He did not attack Zhang Heng. Instead, he threw a trip rope at Zhang Heng's feet. Zhang Heng stepped into it and staggered. Although he did not fall, he slowed for an instant. That instant was enough. Su Chang's charge skill had not cooled down, but the distance had already closed. He stabbed his sword toward Zhang Heng. Zhang Heng raised his wooden staff to block. The staff broke. But Su Chang's sword also shifted and only pierced Zhang Heng's shoulder. Zhang Heng screamed. From his sleeve, he threw out a talisman. A black-yellow line of fire shot toward Su Chong. Su Chong raised his shield to block, and his entire body was knocked back. Zhang Heng turned and still tried to flee. But Chen Hao had already arrived from the other side. He did not have a skill as flashy as Su Chang's. He only gripped his blade with both hands and chopped fiercely at Zhang Heng's leg. Zhang Heng fell. Guan walked out of the broken temple, holding his medicine staff, his voice pained. Zhang Heng, enough. Zhang Heng lay on the ground and raised his head to look at Guan. His face was covered in blood, but his eyes were still fanatical. Senior brother, you do not understand. If they do not believe, they cannot survive. Guan shook his head. Letting people live is not turning them into your talismans. Zhang Heng laughed. The laughter was desolate and shrill. Then how many times can you defend them? You defended tonight. What about tomorrow night? What if the Imperial Army comes? What if demons come? What if the outsiders leave? Guan fell silent. Those words were harsh. Because they were not entirely wrong. Zhang Heng's method was wrong. But the cruelty of chaotic times was real. Lin Yao walked forward. That is why a village needs more than faith. Zhang Heng looked at him. Lin Yao said, it also needs walls, grain, medicine, soldiers, and rules. People do not survive by kneeling. They survive by standing together and defending. Zhang Heng froze. Then, as if he had heard something utterly absurd, he laughed quietly. Lord! How many people do you think you can save? Lin Yao said calmly, as many as I can. I saved them first. At least tonight, Broken Temple Village did not kneel. Zhang Heng's laughter slowly stopped. The black-yellow aura around his body began to collapse. When the Yellow Turban Remnants saw Zhang Heng fall, they finally broke completely. Some fled. Some dropped their weapons. Some knelt and begged for mercy. A system prompt rang out. Yellow Turban Libationer Zhang Heng has been defeated. Yellow Turban Remnant morale has collapsed. Broken Temple Village defensive battle victorious. For a moment, the village was deathly silent. Then cries of survival after disaster erupted. Chen Hao sat down heavily on the ground, gasping as he looked toward Lin Yao.
Brother! Do not ever say you do not know how to play games again.
Zhao Tai leaned on the blade and grinned.
He really is not that good at cutting people.
But he knows how to make other people cut.
Lin Yao did not smile. Because his mission panel had not fully settled yet.
A new prompt appeared before his eyes.
Hidden objective completed. You successfully discovered the truth behind the Yellow Turban Remnant attack. You stopped fanatical talisman water from forming.
You protected more than 80% of Broken Temple Village's villagers.
Guan survived. The Taiping Dao Fragment Scroll was not seized. Mission rating, excellent. Immediately after, another exclusive prompt appeared. Because you completed this side story as a lord, Guan has developed interest in your territory.
You may attempt to recruit Guan, or obtain a copied version of the Taiping Dao Fragment Scroll.
Lin Yao looked toward Guan. Guan was also looking at him.
The old physician remained silent for a long time. Finally, he slowly spoke.
Lord Lin. If your territory lacks a physician, this old man would like to go and see it.